Hello and welcome, my name is Hoshiko, and today's cinematography video is all about saving time and stress on set to maximize your efficiency by pre-rigging your cameras. Before we get started, I want to say that I am back and also thank you for your support during my hiatus. These have been a pretty wild few months, as you might have seen on my social media pages, and I am really just excited to be back making regularly released videos again. My goal for this year has been to reach 1,000 subscribers, and honestly, I might not get there, and it'll probably be pretty close, but to have come this close with a hiatus like this is still really encouraging for me. My goal for the end of 2025 is going to be 2,500 subscribers, so if you haven't yet and you like cinematography videos with a micro budget perspective, you can subscribe to help me get there. So the concept that we're talking about today is a fairly simple one, but something that I really love. As an indie filmmaker and a video producer on a tight budget, I am constantly looking for genuine ways to increase productivity. And not like tips and tricks that don't really increase your productivity. I want real, genuine ones. And this is a great way. Simply pre-build your camera rig as best as possible before arriving to set. For most filmmaking and video production projects, having a partial prep day at least is necessary for making sure that all your equipment is ready, all of it is working, your batteries are charged, and everything is packed so you're not going to forget anything. During that process, I also build out my camera rig and pack it as close to fully built as possible. So here's an example. I mostly film with my Ursa Mini Pro, and I generally record audio externally, but for the camera itself, as backup audio and or scratch audio, I use a Sony shotgun microphone that came with my NEX FS100 years ago, as well as the mount. I use a VCT quick release plate for my tripods. Of course, you need lenses, and I also use rails and the grip handle pretty frequently. So instead of trying to assemble all of these pieces and taking up precious time on set, I assemble my camera beforehand pretty much like this. My Ursa is clearly not as modular as something like a mirrorless camera setup, especially when you consider all of the accessories. So when I'm using something like a pocket cinema camera as a B-roll camera, or even just the Lumix G7 like I have here, I'm oftentimes using the Red Rock Micro Riser. I'm using rails, maybe a follow focus, a microphone, an external monitor, all of those different pieces and parts to, set it up for how I need to be able to use it. Once again, I'm assembling all of that before I end up on set so that it's all ready to go when I arrive. And really, this is a time-saving and stress-reducing method of working. I hate having to find all of the pieces and parts and to assemble them quickly while other people might be waiting on me. Or worse, if you're a one-person crew, you might be devoting time to getting it all set up on the camera instead of setting up lights or, working on your blocking. Take off all of that stress and pressure by doing it beforehand. That way you can dial in your monitor position or check your counterweight load and have all the time you need to get those right. You should also be cleaning your lenses on your prep day already, so you might as well install the one you'll be using first onto the camera so that it's ready to go. And this also lets you do it in an environment that you control, which likely will be less dusty than potential filming locations. So saving you a tiny bit of risk that way as well is a great bonus. Not to reiterate too much, but with this method, you'll be saving time on set where the phrase time is money is most true. Reduce your stress, get the exact configuration you need, retain your focus on set based needs like your lighting setup, and if you have assistant camera operators while you're filming, you'll have this part done and you'll be able to almost immediately jump into the framing and blocking part of the day without having to wait on if the tripod plate is put on and make sure it's straight and just having all of that time be wasted that could be used more effectively while you're at your location. So now you might be asking, how do you transport your pre-rigged camera, especially without anything getting broken? That seems kind of like a cumbersome process, which is a great question. And the answer is padded camcorder or camera bags. Lots of us do regularly store or transport our cameras in hard cases, but this method requires you to disassemble it so that it fits in all of the proper foam holes. This option allows you to get a bag that works with the size of your camera so that you can transport the rig mostly fully assembled. So for my Ursa, I use the Ape Case AC Pro 1600, which fits my camera with the VCT plate, the rails, the top handle, the shoulder mount, and my lens, most lenses that I either own or rent. Now, it just can kind of go in like that, and it even fits the accessories mount just underneath that zipper. There's also other pockets on the case for things like your AC adapter, or if you need to put a tablet, a notepad, extra cables, all those kinds of things. I don't usually transport with my batteries attached to prevent battery drain. Now, the only thing that actually doesn't fit in there is the microphone top handle. I just tuck that to the side, or the actual Ursa handle as well doesn't fit because it's a little bit too wide. But by putting on there, just like that, I can have everything almost all configured and ready to go when I arrive on set. I often don't use an external monitor with the Ursa, so that's not a major concern for me, and some follow focuses will fit and some won't, depending on the width, because the bag isn't super wide. So if you need room for a monitor or for a follow focus or to keep handles attached to the camera, I do like Orca's bags. I've previously used an Orca OR12 for transporting an FS5 kit with a pretty big lens, monitor, and handles all attached, and that worked great and had plenty of room. I really loved that bag, but that bag was more expensive than the Ape case though, so when purchasing my own, I went with the Ape case and I'm still definitely happy, but I understand that there's some limitations due to that width. For the most part, this meets all of my needs and still helps me save a lot of time when I show up to set with my mostly fully rigged camera. For my mirrorless pre-rig transport, I mostly use a padded old Canon camera bag, and it fits everything I need already pre-built. It has the camera itself, the Red Rock Micro riser, I can fit a follow focus, and because the bag is a little bit wider than the Ape case, I could even have a Noga arm on here with a monitor, and I just, configure that to the side, and it goes straight in like this. There's also still plenty of room for other accessories. If you do need something that is a longer bag, this, for a shoulder rig or something, this probably wouldn't work for you. But you could also have the rest of your shoulder rig rails or something like that transported separately and still be 80, 85% of the way there and be well on your way to filming as soon as you arrive. Plus, these kinds of bags are actually pretty cheap used. You can get them at thrift stores, but you can also get them pretty cheap online as well. There are tons of bag manufacturers out there with different options, sizes, and costs. I already mentioned Orca and Apecase, and there's also Arco, Manfrotto, and Portabrace as options. Now, one tip for searching with this application in mind is to specify camcorder bag, which makes them usually longer and wider so that you're not limited to camera bags, which are more geared towards still photographers. If you want to pick up a bag for your own pre-rigging transportation needs, I have affiliate links down in the video's description for some options that I use, have used, or think could be good choices depending on the needs of your own rig. These affiliate links really help support this channel and these videos at no extra cost to you. But the whole point, no matter what bag you end up using, is to front load the gear setup that requires minute, time-consuming details that are independent of actually being at your location. And in doing so, saving time, energy, focus, and money while on set. This is how I run all of my productions now, and once you make that change, you'll never want to go back to fully camera rigging on set. It really, really makes a big difference to not have to do those seemingly simple but critical tasks like attaching a tripod plate or putting on your rails or attaching the handles while on set, wasting your time. And as a side note, I actually also do this with audio gear by assembling the blimp with my directional microphone all as one package and transporting it that way. And depending even on the packing situation in the vehicle, I might also have the boom pole already attached as well. So this concept is actually transferable across some departments even, which makes it even more useful. Do let me know if you have any questions about this concept. You can leave those in the comment section down below. I love getting comments, so even if you just want to drop by and say hi, I'd love to see you there. If you like cinematography gear and tip videos like this one, please give the video a like to help me with the YouTube algorithm and reaching new viewers. You can also subscribe for upcoming videos about tools and techniques for cinematography, lighting, and micro-budget filmmaking. As I said at the start of the video, I am now back to making these videos regularly. So if you want to help me reach 1,000 subscribers this year, I'd really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon where I post my videos for ad-free viewing, And I have both free and paid tiers. I'm currently striving to reach 100 total members. My Patreon really helps support these lesson videos, so if you want to check it out and you can support, that would be great and I'd really appreciate it. You can even vote on upcoming video topics. I'm also on a whole bunch of social media websites, but I am currently trying to grow both my Blue Sky and Mastodon accounts. So if you want to connect with me over on those platforms, all of those links are down in the video's description. Thank you all again for your support and patience over the last few months of unplanned hiatus. It really has meant a lot to me. I hope that you're having a healthy, safe, and nice start to the end of your year. As always, take care of yourselves and take care of those around you. Wear a mask in public to help reduce illness transmission that ruins people's holidays and people's lives. And overall, I hope you have a wonderful week ahead of you. Peace.